Hello, 6th grade. Last lesson we talked about algebraic expressions, how they have three things. They have variables, which are letters that represent numbers like X, B, Y. They have numbers. Well, I would surely hope so in math. You definitely need some of those. And last but not least, they also have operations, including adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. When you have all three of these components in a number sentence, you have an algebraic expression. So we're going to talk about translating these into word phrases. So like, for example, if I said this, I have an algebraic expression. I have my numbers, I have my operations, and I have one variable. So you would see something like this, and I want to say a word phrase would be like 6 plus the difference of 4 and x. This is what we're doing. You're going to get a problem that looks like this. This one's pretty complicated, but you'll probably have a one-step one, maybe like this or this. But we're creating a word phrase. So algebraic expressions can have more than one word phrase because you can have other words. You could say minus instead of difference. You could say the sum instead of plus. So that's what we're going to talk about. So the operations that are represented here, Miss Madera is going to color code them. The sum, that's the answer to an addition problem. The difference, that's the answer to a subtraction problem. Quotient, that is the answer to a division problem. And product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Multiplication. And some other words that are key clue words to tell us what operation are they telling us to do. What is it they want us to do? Times, that's a key word to multiply. Less than, that is a key word to subtract. Greater than, that's actually a clue to combine or add numbers together. And split equally, that is another clue word to divide. Now, they may say split in half or split into quarters, or they might say split equally into a number of groups, and they would tell you the number. Remember, a number right next to the variable, that coefficient, smack next to it, means to multiply. For example, 4x, or 3 parentheses, 2 in parentheses. When it's smack next to each other, it needs us to multiply them. A fraction bar means to divide. So if you see 8 divided by 2, it's the same as if I did 8 over 2. Or 8/2. Those are all the same. Remember that addition and multiplication are both commutative. What that basically means is if I multiplied 8 times 2, I'm going to get the same answer if I did 2 times 8. If I did the same with adding, if I did 4 plus 5, I would get the same answer if I did 5 plus 4. The order does not change my answer. But with subtraction and division, order matters. How it's written, what number is first. That is a key factor when correctly subtracting or correctly dividing. So I'm going to have your notes match mine exactly, and we're going to add some word phrases to refer back to. Miss Madera also has all of it on her back wall, a bunch of words, kind of like these ones. For each operation, the operation is shaped like an addition sign, like a subtraction sign, division sign, and a multiplication. X and there are words inside. But for your notes, I'm going to go ahead and just have you copy these down. You could have 6 more than G. You could have the sum of 6 and G, because we're adding. You could also have 6 plus G. And remember, at any time, if you need to pause the video to get these down on your paper, you absolutely can. 7, smack next to A, that's a clue that we need to multiply. But remember, we're not going to put X, because that could be mistaken for a variable. Multiplying is going to be like a dot, or like here, it's smack next to each other. So for multiplying, I'm going to say you could put 7 multiplied by A, 7 times A, or the product of 7, and A. Those are all clue words telling me I need to be multiplying. All right, jumping down to, jumping down here, we are dividing. So some clue words I could use would be 8 divided into, well, I don't know that number, so I'm just going to put the variable. 8 divided into Y groups, or the quotient of 8 and Y. Those are the two main ones I think of when I'm dividing. So if I had something differently, like if I had 10 divided by X, I would just say 10 divided into X groups, the quotient of 10 and X. So they're just interchangeable, but these words giving me the clue of what operation to use, those don't change. You can shift them, you have different options, but specific words tell me a specific operation. I'm going to jump down to that last one. You could say P minus 4, the difference of P and 4. And this next one, please keep in mind, this is something special. So I'm going to put a little star here. It's called a switch phrase. We're used to hearing the word less than. Put a box around this word. Because I can't say P less than 4, this phrase makes the number switch. So see, P minus 4, I have P first, P minus 4. The difference of P and 4, P is first up here, it's going to be first down there. Less than is a switch phrase, so I actually need to switch the order, and I need to put 4 less than P. This one's like a rule breaker, so make sure you write that down on your paper. Once you have all of your key words or word phrases on your notes, you're going to turn your papers over, and you're going to come up with 2 word phrases. So don't just put 5 plus G. I want you to come up with another one for every single problem. Taking you all the way down to the last one, where instead of writing a word phrase, I want you to come up with the situation that could be represented by this. Actually, let me work on this one with you. So let's think. Let's say A is adult tickets, kind of going off of an example we had earlier, and B are boxes of popcorn. See how adult tickets goes with A and box of popcorn goes with B. So thinking about this, how many adult tickets do I have? 2. So the price of 2 adult tickets, I'm adding, so I'm going to say combined, that's a key word to add. It's combined with how many boxes of popcorn? That's right, there's 3. With 3 boxes of popcorn. Now, I'm not worried about figuring out what's the total price. How much is a ticket? How much is a box of popcorn? All I want to know is how can I make a situation where I'm combining these items together. All right, once you have this on your paper, you are going to work on problems 1 through 8 with a buddy, and you may get started.